I am.
Hey,
You need a
I am.
psych.
yo,
I can do
this
a
is
job.
the best. This is the best night to do this because he's fucking
No,
on
I'm fuming.
fire. He's on fire.
I wanted to come to the podcast because I'm excited for it today, but I will
reckon-
be staying in my car for minimum 1 hour before I go home.
I reckon you have a not happy Dan, and it's legit tonight.
But the thing is, I can't say it.
You can't say any of it. At least you've got it out.
So I apologize to you two because I'm going to fucking let it rip today.
Hey, did you turn the heater on or not?
I did.
I'm s-
I know it's still cold in here, but I turned it on. I did
I'm
turn it on.
cold.
I'm hot.
Just get a mic check from the live chat. I think we're good. It's just
Is this?
a different channel this week. But boys,
Is my
this-
mic on?
why?
No reason. I just want to be heard.
Hey, tonight's like our grand final, I feel.
No, it's not. It's a demoralizing episode.
Yeah, that's why it's our grand final.
It's a humbling episode.
Yeah.
It's my favorite episode of the year. Favorite night of the year. Yeah, you need to settle down.
I'm angsty. I didn't even have
You're
a beer.
angsty.
I'm that angry. I had just water.
I know
had to
that's
cool
actually
down.
true. We've got the Carlton Dry flavored beers. Yeah, lemon, good. That's
Yeah.
a free plug for
Jules got a lot of notes on me. He's got half a page. He's got more than half a page for Joe.
we've
Oh my God.
we've got notes for 360 coming out of our ass tonight.
It
It's
looks
gonna
like a
be-
lot, but it's actually not.
Is it? I reckon a lot of our hammerings should be done. Like if we're hammering Joe, we'll do it like 1-on-1 like we did last year. Because I'll probably say your points.
Yeah,
You'll
no,
probably
of
say
course.
my points.
Anyway,
Do you know
will,
what I mean, if you say a point, you hammer him, and then I'll follow on.
let's get
Yeah,
to
no, it's
yeah,
tandem.
Yeah. Tandem, yeah.
no shit. We'll get to the intro.
That's one. That's a that there is good.
That's our moment. We finally, as a generation, we can hang our hat on a genuine moment.
Honestly, we are a force because of the intensity that we play at is just next level.
We want to be here. We want to impact finals, and it's one thing of obviously saying it, but we just lived it.
Oh shit! We're actually this is the way that we've started this tonight. It's the best night for this to be, for you to be in this mood. It genuinely is.
The blinds.
Hold on, wait. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. No, we're not going there. No, he said he didn't want to go there on the air.
I do. Stop dictating.
Welcome everyone to episode. Hey, feedback hasn't started yet. Welcome everyone to episode 131, the Almost Blues Brothers podcast, part of the Blue Broad Media Network, proudly powered by
Oh,
Image
Image
Online.
Online. Jules has kissed it.
kissed
Image
it.
online.
Image
Can't
Online.
see it.
Yeah, you
It's
can.
actually done very,
Very
well.
well. Very
well.
I'd like to thank
Oh, that's
my
decent.
brother-in-law Chris. He did the 3D printout of the sculpt, and the sticker is from my mate Matt.
There you go, guys.
Image
Image,
Online.
Online.
And
What
it's
do
got
they
my-
do?
Please,
It's got my,
jingles,
it's got my lip marks on it.
callbacks, voiceovers. Just give them a call.
It's also
And
got
obviously podcast studio, but yeah.
it's got my lip marks on it.
Does have your lip marks on it actually now.
We could sell that. Jules'
just
lip marks
kissed it.
on there.
If you sign it, we might get something for that, Jules. 'Cause
And
you're-
some beer.
apparently you're the heartthrob of the pod, based on the feedback that we got on the Instagram.
Yeah.
That's not the feedback they gave at all.
Do you know what?
Complete opposite.
I was actually trying to look into the feedback. I couldn't do it.
How?
I couldn't look into it.
He blocked you out.
He blocked me out of
I
it.
haven't blocked
I'm
you
not
out.
surprised.
All right, I will show you after the pod how to look at it because all three of us could have looked at it if you're in Instagram.
Can you go back to it?
Anyway, yes, proudly powered by Image Online. If you're joining us live, thank you very much. If you're listening on Spotify later this week or Apple Podcasts, hit that 5 stars, leave us a review, and hit the bell for episode updates. Be greatly appreciated. Yes, like I said off the top, big night. We've got obviously 360 feedback, which we're all excited for. It's my favorite time of the year. But a big show before that. That will be the last thing that we do tonight. So stay tuned if you want to hear the three of us tear shreds off each other for about half an hour. But up until that point, we've got a big show. We've actually got a lot to talk about. It's mid-season bye for the Blues. We didn't have a game this week.
Can you believe today?
We'll get there. But that was
How that happened was an absolute joke.
Did you watch?
I did.
Did you watch?
No, I didn't watch it. I was just looking at it very closely.
I actually turned it off when there was 50-something points.
Yeah.
And then I turned
Thinking
it
it was
back
done.
on the last 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I saw the score.
North were very, very good early.
George Wardlaw.
Very good early.
George Wardlaw was a joke.
Yeah.
He was so good.
Yeah. He was they looked really good. And I thought, When they got to 54 points, I'm like, all right, it's Collingwood, but no, this is a stretch too far. They just stopped.
They literally did.
They just stopped.
They ran out of everything.
Completely ran out.
Yeah.
It was fucked.
It was-
Bobby
it was-
Hill.
It was actually fun.
All I'll say is Bobby Hill took one of the greatest marks
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
have
say, I seen
ever
that, I
seen
saw
in
that.
my life.
He jumped onto his head.
He was already floating,
I know.
landed, and then got the double lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
One
was
of the
more
best marks
impressive
I've ever
was
seen.
the most impressive thing for me about that mark was the air time
Yeah,
that
the
he
air
actually
time.
had
Yeah.
was a joke.
Prior
Yeah, yeah, it was a joke.
and landed on his feet.
No, yeah.
Full extension. That is mark of
How
that
high
is
he
mark of
jumped
the
there
year.
was a joke.
That's
Yeah.
mark of the decade. I haven't seen a mark like that for a long time. It was nice. Yeah, to be fair, and obviously we hate Collingwood in here, but that was probably game of the year for me. That's how good it was. I was like, yes or no, start to finish. It was like you couldn't take your eyes off
Yeah,
it.
well, yeah.
Had everything.
When they were 54 points up, you were like, okay, this is done.
It wasn't.
Well, obviously wasn't. Yeah.
Anyway, it is a Carlton podcast, Gav. You're right. So we are going to move on very quickly.
I like that.
And based on it being a Carlton podcast, mid-season review coming up tonight. We've got a bit of a list that we put together during the week. The three of us of best midfielder, best defenders, and just a few things we'll go through. We'll take stock.
no,
We'll look back at. We've written it down on Jules' sheet because I knew you did.
If
have
you
your
can
notes.
read my hand.
You have to
knew
read
you
it
had
out.
I knew you
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
I knew
Have you done
did.
calcs? Any calcs?
What calcs are
Season
there?
calcs. You can do
Oh,
season.
he probably could have, but no. I'll give him a night off.
I'll speak about TDK if you want.
No, we're going to take
Hey,
stock.
Joe,
We're going to take
Joe
stock.
will give you the night off.
We're going to
Sorry.
take stock. We're going to look back at how we've gone to this point in the season. We're going to look ahead at what we think we're going to do in the back half, which I think I know what we're all going to say. And then into 360 and a preview for the Cats game as well. So you'll see also our logo. It's turned orange this week for the Cats game. Carlton Respects in round 15, annual Carlton Respects game. I think we're 0-7 in those games. That's another hoodoo to break this year. But yeah, Almost Blues Brothers logo has turned orange for Carlton Respects. Look out on socials for all the Carlton Respects stuff coming up this week. Without any further ado,
Let's get into it.
all right, before we get into the mid-season stuff, now this and this is some news that came out during the week, just yesterday or the day before on SEN. Laura Kane,
Who is she?
she is 2IC this year, second in charge
Is she?
to Andrew Dillon. Yep, took Brad Scott's old role essentially. So all the umpiring, all the administration of the game that goes through Laura.
Aha.
So the reason that I bring this up is she did an interview on SEN, and she was asked about father, son, and academy and next gen points and value in the draft, because for many years, and I tend to agree with this, for many years that point system probably hasn't stacked up all too well, and clubs get away with murder really
Yeah.
in terms of what they can pick up with their father sons. And I'll read an excerpt, and I'll let you guys go ahead with it. And I know Jules is going to go off his rocker because we spoke about this before the show, and he was fired up.
Let
And I
Jules
said,
go.
Jules, just stop because I need harness this because I need this for like 15 minutes. All right, the executive general manager of football at the AFL, Laura Kane, has hinted at changes to the format of the 2024 national draft and beyond in a suggestion that has been labelled bewildering by David King. She was on SEN speaking about a couple of other things, but the first-year footy boss surprised the likes of David King and Sam Edmund when suggesting that the AFL's competitive balance review, which is currently being completed, could have ramifications for this year's national draft. Laura Kane was asked when clubs and fans will have an answer on the alterations to the father-son academy system. That's another pillar of the competitive balance review. We're looking at probably from a couple of months from now. You'll have a good understanding of father-sons, NGA, Northern Academies, etc., etc. We'll make sure to get through the player movement outcomes, including father-sons, in the next couple of months, and added it might impact this year's draft. The clubs have been on notice, and we've been talking about this for 12 months. When pressed again, Laura reiterated that the point system for matching bids on players could change as soon as this year, and it was an answer that left King stunned. My belief from club level, this is from David King, I'm not convinced they're aware of likely change and what that looks like. If it be 2 months down the track, I think that's a massive story. How can you be planning the future of your football club, having your points and picks in order, knowing roughly where your next selection is likely to fall and what cost those players are? I find that completely bewildering.
Let it rip.
I just don't understand how. Look, the AFL always tried to equalize the competition as best as possible. Agree?
Yes.
Always. Okay. Especially the last, say, 10, 20 years, especially. But when you're adding in clubs like Gold Coast, GWS,
Tassie,
to the new Tassie team in what? When do they come in? 2027, is it?
28. I think.
28. So
Yep.
what? 4 seasons away. I don't know. I just find it ridiculous. Like, you can equalize as much as you can, but at the end of the day, the best teams or the best run football clubs, they're always going to rise to the top.
Yep.
Now, the AFL have made the competition, okay, in terms of the top team and the bottom team, okay, the distance between the top team and the bottom team is probably the worst I reckon we've ever seen it.
Agree.
Because of
I agree with that.
Because of the competition, the amount of teams that are in the competition, and therefore the amount of players. Okay. Now, the way it affects us, I mean, it's
Carlton, you're saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
Carlton. We got to wait and see. But
Yeah, but it's
But
going to
they've
affect us massively with the Camp Rally
correct.
brothers.
But then,
Huge.
but
So
also,
I'll go into that in a minute because I spoke about this.
but
with Jules
also,
Fraser.
like, you got to take into play, like, you know, say the clubs have known 12 months. List management, they look at it for 2, 3,
Of course they do.
4 years in advance.
5 years in
in
some
advance.
That's what I was going to start.
You know,
to
in
speak about.
terms of structuring, you know, age demographic and structuring the demographic of certain,
overall
of
strategy
certain
of their recruiting.
positions and
Recruiting, yeah.
obviously wages and salary cap space and everything like that. You know, even in terms of the salary cap,
Long-term planning.
salary cap
Yeah.
increases. Like we're signing Wiedering now. I wonder why. Because they've done the right things. You know, they've had Martin, McGovern, Sard, etc. Their contracts come out of play over the last few years. So obviously they're saving money there because obviously they're not going to offer them the
No.
700,000-800,000 that they originally did a year. You know, or whether they
The strategy side of it is set well in advance.
Correct.
Of
Yeah, but this
12 months,
this-
let alone 2.
correct.
Let alone
And this
2
is what I'm
months.
saying. So
Yeah.
to adjust that now and still have uncertainty about what the actual ruling of it is. Okay, obviously there's
You can't tell me
conversation about it,
clubs-
but you can't put that in mid-season now
No.
and have that in this upcoming draft.
So-
Doesn't make
Clubs
any
can't be
sense
happy.
whatsoever.
Clubs
I'm gonna-
can't be happy with that.
I'm going to share
I
with
wouldn't
you.
be. If I'm list manager, I'm not.
Can't.
If I'm Carlton Football Club, I'm furious.
I'm going to share with you what I shared with Jules pre-show around what is believed to be potentially a change, right? There's an idea that,
I think I
and
read it.
this hasn't been confirmed, but there's an idea that the points after pick 40 will be scrapped.
Hmm.
So they'll be worth 0. Right now, you can accumulate points after pick 40, bundle them up, and then that equates to, say, a pick 10 or 12,
Whatever it is, yeah.
right? After pick 40, there's this idea that's been floated, apparently, that they will be worth 0. What this means is, for us, Lucas gets taken first round, whatever it is, right? We've got points to match for Lucas. Ben, maybe not.
No, that's right.
We might have to use a second round pick on him now, if that is the case. Or we hope that no club bids on him after pick 40 before our first pick after 40, so that we can take him. Because if a club bids on him after 40 and there's no points left after that, he walks.
He walks, of course. Yeah,
I don't know.
Go, you tell me.
For me, it's a disgrace.
it's a disgrace. It honestly is. For me, it's what Jules said. It's the club's inability to forward plan because they don't know. They don't know what it looks like. How can you anticipate? How can you make judgment, which they already have, as you mentioned, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in advance to see where our list is going to go or who we need to target? So, yeah.
Yeah, I honestly don't understand it. Like the AFL can try equalize as much as possible and make it better for clubs, but like we've had the father sons, Gold Coast, GWS, and like Tassie when they do come into it, they don't really have any father sons
No.
because obviously
new.
they've only been in the
Yeah.
competition for the
There's
last
your
10 years.
academy.
But they've got their
look at it.
academy.
Yep.
We didn't have an academy,
No, that's right.
so if you're going to do it, yeah. So like, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Like how much can you take off teams
For them to grow. Yeah.
For me, it's all about how the clubs run. When we've seen it over the last 10, 20 years, it's not about the picks.
The best
You
run
can
clubs
have
are always at the top. Geelong, Sydney, they're all
Hawthorn
up
through
there.
the years,
Hawthorn,
Richmond.
Collingwood have done a brilliant
Collingwood.
job of staying relevant. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So for me, it's the way the clubs run. You can have as many picks as you want.
Yep.
You can have the best players. Doesn't matter.
It's it's become a circus now.
Mm.
It really has. The AFL top to bottom this year has been pretty poor. It's probably been the most poorly run season I can remember. Yeah. The umpiring has deteriorated into something that's not even worth talking about. Really, it's just not. All of this sort of stuff that we're talking about, there's something new that crops up every week in terms of the way that AFL House is running things and the administration behind it and whatnot. It feels like it's becoming a circus. Really
but
does.
it's obviously from the top and their lack of ability, which is then trickling
well,
down.
whether it's ability or whether it's a new crop that's come in Laura Kane and Andrew Dillon wanting to make their mark, right, and put a stamp on things, which I get, right? You've come into a position, you kind of want to make sure that you stamp your authority, and obviously there's some low hanging fruit that they identified that probably wasn't low hanging fruit to begin with. It's just identifying the wrong areas of the game to administrate for me. There's a lot of other issues that need to be taken care of that aren't being spoken about or taken care of at the moment. Yeah.
They're not assertive enough in the right areas for me.
No, not at all. So, and this obviously we're talking about this because it's going to impact us if this is brought in.
Of course it will.
Yeah, but
right?
it impacts us like this year, obviously. But then we've got a
Cody
kid
Walker,
now, named
2026.
Cody
Yeah.
Walker.
Yep.
In 2 years'
I know.
time, that and he's under 16, and he's playing for Vic Country at the moment.
He's
I don't
killing
know
it.
if you've seen him.
He's killing
a
it.
kid.
He's an absolute jet.
absolute freak.
Tex Walker's kid.
Yeah.
Paul Sebastiani in the comments. The more you attempt to equalize, this is what we were talking about pre-show. The more you attempt to equalize, the less equal the competition and business becomes. There's always someone bigger and smarter than policymakers. And that's true. Because what happens is the best find ways and loopholes around whatever rules are brought in to equalize. And then the gap just widens again. So what do the administration do? They bring in another layer of rules, right? The best will still find loopholes there. They bring in another layer of rules on top. And then all of a sudden, you've got this absolute shit show of rules and regulations that have been developed over a number of years, decades at this point, that have no cohesion whatsoever between them. That's where we're going to end up.
Yeah.
It's where we're going to end up. We've seen it with the umpiring. Let's strip this back and take it back to the umpiring as symbolic of what we're seeing here with the father-son thing, right? The umpiring 15, 20 years ago was simple. You could show the game to someone. It was still confusing for a first-time viewer, but you could show the game to someone, and I could say to them, this is why that happened in the moment. If I showed the game to someone now with some of the calls, I would literally put my hands on my head and go, I'm not sure.
I don't know why that happened.
I actually don't even know. So this is where we're going to get to from a complete administration side of things if we're not careful. Yeah.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know what to say.
It's baffling. It is baffling.
For me, it's just ridiculous. So.
Yeah. Anything else? No. All right. That's that little rant. So tonight, as you can tell, is just a night.
It's all rant.
It's a night of taking people down. All right. Let's get into the mid-season review. So our football club is 9-4 at the bye. Puts a smile on our face. We're sitting second at the moment. Did Port win?
No, they were down by 17 when I saw.
We will still be second if GWS get up tonight.
They
did.
They won
So
by 22.
we are second on the ladder as things stand, with a game in hand over some clubs too, which is massive. We're 9-4, then on the up, and with a pretty soft draw to finish the year in the back half. Before we get to the back half of the year, Dan, I'll start with you. Obviously, we talk about this every week and week to week and game to game, but overall, first 14, 15 weeks of the season, thoughts?
Exceeded expectations in where we've ended up, in my opinion. I look back to pre-season and I look at what was promised or what they had looked to build on, and it was one word: layers. And for me, what we've been able to see in this half of the season is that extra layer, which is the turnover, in my opinion, the turnover game, to complement what we're doing from a clearance and contested or our brand or our one wood. And we've been able to see that in fruition now. And I think it's been just something where you can see we find different ways to win. We don't go with one way of scoring. And for me, it's been massive.
Yeah, but it's even built off you're talking about layers, it's built off our defense as well. Last year, Voss, after the Essendon game, made a big emphasis on the way we defend as a team. But another thing too is really interesting is in terms of at the beginning of the year, and I know you said that in terms of layers, that's sort of the talking that was coming out of the club.
The messages.
Yep, the messages that were coming out of the club. But another message was that we want to be a more consistent home and away team. what would be like our average losing margin?
If you take out the Sydney game,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. Do you want,
it's
do you
probably
have
like a goal or two, really.
yeah, really.
I think it is. I think
You
it's
know,
only a goal.
the
so,
Sydney
yeah.
game's the outlier, but the outlier. But
Who was it? Sydney, Collingwood, Adelaide,
And-
and who lose to?
Geelong.
Geelong,
Yeah,
which was
Geelong.
15 points again. So
Yeah.
it's probably only just over a goal.
So we have been a very more consistent home and away team. Obviously, Sydney the outlier, but I feel like as if there are some certain reasons behind it as well.
Well, we've been hurt during this half of the season. Injuries have hurt us, but
Yeah.
we've been able to see a system that holds up with all those injuries. Have we not?
We have. Yep.
Like that's
massively.
of course. You're losing key personnel, and we're still able to get win.
Mm.
We're 9-4. That's massive.
Yeah. I mean, think about this time last year, we were 3-8. First and foremost at the bye. So that's only a year ago, and we're 21-6 since then. So, or 20-6 since then. So obviously, from a home and away perspective, actually that's 20-6 including the prelim. So we're actually 18-5 in home and away games since. So looking at a home and away perspective, that preseason motto, if you want to call it, that they branded, yeah, we're a consistent home and away side since the bye last year, and especially this year at 9-4.
It's only midway through the season, but for me, there is 3 teams that have the profile that I can see that can go with it, that can actually win the flag this year.
Mm.
It's Sydney, it's us, and I hate to say it, but it's Collingwood.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
the moment they look good.
Because again, they're struck with injuries, but look how they hold up.
Yeah.
And I hate saying it,
Hey, their
but
system,
that's reality.
if I'm being honest, they've probably got the best system in the league.
Sydney, I'm waiting to see, because knowing how football is, they'll drop. Players will drop off. Players will get injured, and I want to see how they hold up.
Yeah,
Because we've been tested. That's the biggest thing. The character of this club and that playing group is massive, because we've been tested and we've come out 9-4.
Yeah, I don't think Sydney have been challenged yet.
They haven't.
I don't think they have been challenged yet in terms
With
of
opposition, yes. With opposition, they have. Like, they played us.
Geelong got a jump on them.
I'd like to play them here.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Geelong got a jump on them early. They were 5 goals down, I think, or 6 goals down against Geelong, and they ended
Two
up
teams have had a jump on
spanking them. Yeah, Adelaide got a jump on them, this week. So they've been challenged, but not in the way that I agree with what you're saying. Like, they haven't been challenged by a really good team for 4 quarters, and I tend to agree. I feel like we have been, and I feel like we've stood up many times now. We stood up against GWS. When they really challenged us early on, it looked like that game was going to get away from us. We got challenged by Melbourne in that comeback when we were 6 or 7 goals up, whatever it was, stood up. Port Adelaide, they challenged us for 4 quarters, really, at the end of the day, and that was on their home deck. So I feel like we've got a larger sample size against better teams, top 4 teams like we spoke about last week, that stacks up now. And it's crazy to be talking about our team like this. It really is. It really is.
It'd be interesting to go back and have a look at the ladder in terms of where each team has played, or when we have played a top 8 side compared to Sydney.
Yeah,
Well,
like say when we played,
I showed that opposition ladder the other
Was
week.
that where we had like Freo?
Correct, but we didn't have.
I had
we didn't-
Sydney's number.
Yeah, but we didn't discuss it. So I
can
don't know.
probably get
I
it.
don't know if you can get it,
Let me-
but I think that might be an interesting factor to actually to discuss and go through, just because. Yeah, I think playing teams and good teams is different to playing a good team, but whilst they're in form.
Mm.
I think
Yeah.
that's a very, very different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
And I think most of the teams that we have played, not only are they a good team, like a top 8, top 4 team, but they've been off the back of a few wins.
Like GWS, we played them. They were first
They're
on the
hot.
ladder.
Freo, hot.
Look at them now. Like, GWS have fallen off a little bit of a cliff. They won today, but
Yeah.
we played them at their best. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So
We played them when they were first.
Correct.
Here we go. Here's the ladder. To be fair, Sydney were 3rd on this list.
Yeah.
So we at that time, after round 13, we'd averaged playing against the 6th side in the comp. Sydney had been averaging playing against the 9th side in the comp.
okay.
So still not still not top 8. To be fair, they're not averaging a top 8 side a week.
Mm.
Well, and we discussed last week, 7 of our last 10 games have been against top 4 sides, not top 8, top 4, and we've won 5 of those. So You know, it's huge. It's massive.
Can I bring up another thing that sticks out to me? I know we'll go players, but this mid-season, H. H for me in this half of the season has been a revelation with what we saw, especially early on, with his confidence again in his ability in front of goal.
Yep. I think he's been easily top 3.
Yeah.
If not top 2
I would say.
most weeks. In terms of importance, not in terms of impact, but in terms of his role and importance.
I'm just talking it purely as well as the goal kicking aspect
adding
of his
that
game,
layer has been massive.
because that's been huge.
Yeah, it's
to be able
huge.
to see that again, for it to
What's
be
he kicked, 29,
consistent,
30? I think 30 for the year.
Close to it. Yeah.
close to. But it was more that he had a good game early on, and everyone was saying, "Oh, wait for that game where he kicks like shit."
Hasn't happened.
Hasn't
It
happened.
hasn't happened.
No.
Yeah. He'll kick 55 this year.
He'll kick 50
I think he will
You
kick
know what?
50.
Yeah.
He might even kick 60.
Well, including finals, maybe, yes.
Well, because he's got an easier run
No.
as well.
That's what I'm
'Cause we
saying.
got an easier
that's
run.
true too.
That's what
actually.
I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it's a good point. It's a good point.
How calm are we? This is actually,
It's because
Wow.
but we're calm because we can be. Like
of course, we can.
Like I said, the Essendon game last week was the first time I sat there for 4 quarters and I was calm. Like there was no angst. Even when they came at us, there was no angst. I was just like, this is us now. We're a better side than most, and we'll just get the job done most weeks. This is it. This is the football side that we follow for the first time in our lives. And like we spoke about this we did the SEN podcast with Paul preseason. Yeah. Let's go. If we're doing a mid-season review, let's go all the way back to preseason, right? We spoke about trusting this club. Yeah. Paul asked us, do you trust the club completely? At the midpoint of the season, I'll ask you both, how much do you trust this football club?
well and truly.
100%.
Yeah.
100% with all my life.
Yeah.
I know they're not going to go out there. The Sydney game was an outlier, but to be fair, we were off and they were on massively that day. But you take that game out of it, every week I know that we're going to show up. And when's the last time you were able to say that about this football club?
When we're young.
Not even.
When we're real young.
I don't remember.
When we're real young.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
It's been a while.
It's nice. It's actually really nice. It's really nice. All right. So 9-4, that's exceeded expectation, I think, for all three of us.
Definitely.
All right. Looking to the back half of the season now. So if we look ahead a little bit, do we want to go through the draw?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
go.
yes, no.
Yeah.
Because we usually do this each year. But I think it's been rated the second easiest draw of the league at this point in time. Obviously, that can change with ladder positions and whatnot. But right now, it's the second softest draw in the league.
Before we move on, I've got a question for both of you. Seeing what you've seen, what's one, and the listeners can put their thing, but what's one aspect? Because I know I can answer my own question, but I'll ask you, what's one aspect that you feel as though we need to just fine tune or tweak moving into the second half of the season and then finals?
I got one.
I'll just do it now, the question.
Yeah, no, it's good. That
I
was good hosting.
I want to put sides away,
Mm.
but like put them away.
It's to the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, like proper. And I'm talking good sides too. So Geelong this week, like when it's our time, I'm talking like kick 7-8 straight and like in the third quarter, whatever it is, and you win by. So it was like we still kicked a couple of goals each quarter, like more on the positive side to theirs. So we're up by 20, 30 points. Come halftime, 3/4 time, whatever it is, and then you put 7 or 8, and then it all ends up being a 50-60 point win.
Is that real? I'm going to ask you a question. Is that realistic though? Every week?
I'm not
To
talking.
think
I'm
that.
not talking every week.
But all right. But against the Geelong, they're 6th.
I think it is. Yeah, I want to put sides away.
I think look at Sydney last night. They were down by 20 something
Yeah,
points.
that's
they ended
fair.
up winning
No,
by
that's fair.
40.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
I want
I'll
to
give
put
that.
10. If you're a
No,
good
all right, but
side,
against the Geelong or against like a team that you should be beating, because Geelong's not a given this week. It's not. They're a
I'm
good
not
side.
saying it's going to happen, but I just want to be a team. And it doesn't have to be this week, but towards the back half, the end of the year, okay, like against certain teams, you
Yeah.
should be winning
I agree
by a
with that.
lot. But I wouldn't mind against a good quality opposition saying, you know what, it's
We're the best
us,
team in the
we're
comp.
the best team in the competition.
I think we saw
and
that.
it's not even close.
I think we've seen that against GWS and Port this year. I think we did that twice. The Port game in particular, we put the foot on throat. They didn't get near us
Yeah.
in the last quarter. GWS, remember,
They're good
GWS,
teams.
Hey, Port on their home deck are a very good team. I think we saw that twice. I agree with you. Where I want to see that is against a Hawthorn who's in form. Okay, at the moment they're hitting the ground running.
You give him a
But
reality
we're
check.
fucking better than them, and that's the game we go. No, there's your 10-goal loss.
Yeah. Because for me, I think against most sides, we're a minimum 5-goal better team.
Most, yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking bottom 8 to 9 sides.
I reckon even more.
It's hard to say. You've still got to give credit to the better teams. Like you still got to give credit to teams that are pushing for top 6. They're good for a reason. But against the sides we should be beating, I agree with you. We're at that stage in our evolution where we should be beating those sides by 80. We should come out and spank North, which we did, but we should do it again. We should come out and put the Eagles to the absolute sword in the second last round of the year and beat them by 100. Like that's where we should be at. I agree. My one is, and it's not to be inflammatory, and we're not going to go back down this path, but the 2-ruck system will be plan A. It will be. No. It will be. But just like you said
I
to
didn't think
me,
you were going to say that, to be honest.
just like you said to
I
me,
didn't think you was going to say that.
just like Jules said to me earlier in the year, Ollie Hollands will play every week, even though we agreed or disagreed about it, he will play. It will be a 2-ruck system, whether we agree with it or not, and we're going to have to get used to it very quickly. The tweak that we need to make is how effective that can actually become. Because when we've played with the 2-ruck system, it hasn't been effective enough. It's very clear, though, that is the way forward with the club. From the club's perspective, not my opinion, not your opinion, just the words out of the club. You can't argue with that. That's fact.
Yeah.
Go to
No, but
It doesn't mean it'll produce on the weekend.
no, but that's what I'm saying. I think if we're going down that path, which it sounds like we are, the tweak we need to make is how to become more effective in that system to make sure the turnover game still balances out. Because that's clearly what we didn't see in the past. You?
For me, I want to see more dominance from a clearance perspective and getting the ball forward to center, and our looks inside 450. I reckon if we clean up, and actually, to be fair, as of late, they've been very good. They've been a lot better. But it's when we aren't, we turn it over in bad areas. That's what I think that'll be the difference. I looked at, we're talking about Sydney a lot, but I looked at the entries that Goulden, Warner delivering, Amadi, for example.
Oh, it's a joke.
It's a joke. That's what if we add that layer as a football club and we clean up our skills, especially by foot, see you later.
Yeah.
Seriously, see you later.
With the clearances, we need to be better. And we were doing it sort of at the beginning of the season where not a lot, but I know there was one game in particular. I can't actually remember precisely which game it was, but we're winning a lot of clearances. I'm talking center clearances, but at the front, okay, so like going into our forward 50, with a player like a Walsh or breaking out of the contest, and then hitting up the players inside the forward 50, and that's a lot more damaging than rather than going from the back.
Yeah, correct.
Of the center circle.
You see that we do it a lot. I actually think we need to be a little bit more selfish with like someone like a Walsh and go, you know what, gamble, because if it comes out, you're getting a clean entry inside 450.
Yeah, I feel like we're a very methodical, we're going down a very methodical path.
We got to gamble a little bit more.
There's not a lot of creativity really when you think about it.
I reckon back.
Do you agree?
Yeah. Like you have to be though.
You watch like a Collingwood or you watch like a Sydney, for instance. They gamble through the corridor and it's all instinct. And sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. When it pays off, they punish teams.
Yeah.
I feel like we're very. Gambles.
He has to because he can't.
It's different.
He stays forward.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen him.
It's different though, but it's more in and under too. I'm talking like run and gun gamble. Like go through the corridor when we've got no right to do it.
We have been doing that a little bit more.
Yeah.
We have been taking that kick a lot more. I just think you got to gamble with, like, say at a clearance, center clearance, gamble with a Walsh, just get like, do you know what I mean? Making that move in a more advanced position.
Yeah. And
then back your back six to take, do you know what I mean? If it does go the other way, back your back six in.
I think we have a lot of those kinds of players where we can move the ball like you're saying, Joe, in terms of from the back half.
Like a Sard.
Yeah, like a Sard, McGovern, even a Boy. They're very like smooth operators. But from forward of center, sort of lacking players from the midfield to do the same sort of, run the same sort of patterns.
Well, Elijah can do it.
Yeah, but like who else?
That's right.
We don't like our midfielders or even wingers. maybe not wingers. Ollie Hollands is still young, probably still trying to improve in terms of his overlap running ability in terms of like getting the ball and hitting up targets and coming in through
My thing is
underlapping and things like that. But Sydney have like an abundance of amount of those types of players.
Yeah,
No,
but
they
is it
do.
their ability or is it the positions that we're putting ourselves in?
Probably a bit of both.
Do you know what I mean?
Probably a bit of both, but I think attributes of a player helps, and that's why Sydney play like that.
And Sydney have had multiple years with that playing group doing that now,
Yeah.
whereas we probably haven't, to be fair.
But Sam Walsh,
He's one. He's
but
one.
Listen, Sam Walsh obviously is, yeah. But you would say that his ball use hasn't been as good as of late.
Mm.
Why? He's under the pump.
Yeah.
He's under the pump every time he receives the ball.
Yeah.
If you gamble, he gets a meter or two of space. He'll hit up Charlie. He'll hit up Harry. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming.
That's fair. That's a good call. That's a good
Do you know
call.
what I mean?
All right, let's go through the back half of the year. That was good. That was a good
Dan
question.
to host.
That was a good question. Back half of the year. So we
Get it?
got Geelong round 15. Win or loss?
Huh?
Win or
Win.
loss?
I win, yeah.
So that's 10 wins, 4 losses. Richmond,
Win.
Win.
Giants away. I'm going to mark that as a loss, personally.
Win.
We'll go with majority rules. No,
Win.
use your brain, not your heart. Use your brain.
No, he said
I
win.
actually think we win.
I do as well.
All right, so
I know which game we're
10
going to
wins.
lose.
That's 12 and 4. Dogs.
Where is it?
Marvel.
They give us headaches. I'm
Yeah.
saying loss.
I reckon loss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's 12 and 5. North,
Win.
Win.
Port,
Win.
Win.
Pies.
Win.
Win.
I hope so. 12 and 14.
I think we have to win that game for your sake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 15 and 5. Hawks,
Win.
16 and 5. Eagles,
Win.
17.
Win.
Saints.
Hey,
So
you know
we'll
what?
be
That
we're going to
Collingwood
lose
game-
one game in the back half of the year.
Jules, nah, 2. We said 2.
No, one we said.
Okay. That Jules. Hey, that Collingwood game is the game.
Well, I want to do what I was saying.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the game
That would be
where you
nice.
send a statement going into finals.
Not going to happen, but it would be nice.
But it is. That's
game's
the
gonna
game,
be-
though.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that game will be the most tense and tight game.
Is that the
we've
game
ever
after the
played.
Dogs?
We
We lose to the Dogs, and you send a statement during the Collingwood
It's the
game
game after Port.
after Port.
Anyway, we're crystal balling, but I think
How biased is
Gonna
that?
happen.
so. 16 wins gets you top 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
18 wins gets you second spot.
Should.
So
Yeah.
but I think we should bank 16 to 18 wins. For me, it comes down to Friday night against the Cats. If we win that game, I think top 4 is ours to lose. And then if we can go on a run and win most of those games, if not, all would be nice, but most of those games, maybe only drop 1 or 2. I think a home final double chance is well and truly on the cards.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. I
You
wouldn't.
get that home final, and
I
then
wouldn't have said
you play
Would you
the
say that?
prelim at the G.
Yeah, it's yours to
You know,
lose.
potentially imagine against an interstate side.
Would you have
You know,
said that?
imagine if Port finish 4th, Sydney play off against Port, for example, we're 2nd, and we beat the 3rd, whoever they are. Okay, whoever they are, doesn't matter. And then we play a Port in the prelim.
Jimmy's just said,
And we embrace the moment as favourites now.
Yeah.
We can embrace that
No,
moment.
definitely.
Jimmy said we'll drop the game against the Saints because we'll rest players. Not if it comes down to a top 2 spot, we won't. I can tell you for a fact. Would you have said that we would be in a position where we could realistically say we could go for a top 2 spot at the start of the season? I would say no.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So we're well ahead of expectation. Well ahead.
But-
And especially with the draw that we've now got. This last, I can't describe.
This is also looking at the other teams that and how their season has gone.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at other sides, and like I said to you, I can only name 2 others, bar us, that
Yeah.
are really
It's actually weird. Some of the
Like your Brisbane.
yeah, but Brisbane is sort of in a patch now. It's actually interesting in terms of even Hawthorn. They're on a bit of a run now. North obviously won their first game. West Coast went on a run. Some of the teams in the bottom 10 are actually going on little runs now. So it's actually they're sort of catching up to
They
the
usually do this
3rd,
time of year.
4th. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
catching
yeah,
up to their
understand.
3rd to say 10th
Yeah.
teams. You know how they're all on
Yeah.
7 wins or whatever it is.
Yeah.
This last 10 weeks has actually been really hard, when you think about it.
Oh, yeah, it's been
the
hard.
games that we have gone to and watched, and the games that these players have had to play in, and the opposition they've had to play against, it's been a fucking tough 10 weeks. So they're going to get some reprieve, which is nice. And there's going to be teams that have had a soft run, like Essendon, that are going to find out very quickly how hard it is to get through top 4 teams in a 6-week patch. Not 10 weeks, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And they're going to drop off. So we're in a really good spot considering how soft our draw becomes and how much more difficult the draw becomes for a few others around us, which is nice. And also the fact that like in Melbourne have dropped off significantly. Port Adelaide have dropped off a little bit as well. And it's not as much pressure.
It's actually interesting. And I think it's a good topic of discussion because obviously I think Port and Melbourne, especially going to drop off considerably now, especially that Petrarca's out. Top 4.
All right, we'll do this quick.
What do you think it's going to look like?
So Sydney, Carlton,
Collingwood.
The 4th spot's kind of open at the moment, I think. I think we agree. Sydney, Carlton, Collingwood probably first 3 at the moment.
Yeah.
The 4th, if you had to pick, I don't know. I actually don't know. You can't really pick anyone. You can't pick anyone for that 4th spot. I think that 4th spot's dead, to be honest, at this point in the season.
For me, it depends on what GWS do.
Yeah.
Off the back of this win now, I think they're the team that probably could, if they find a little bit. They've had a 2-3 week patch that's hurt them quite a lot. But I think that for me, I'd have to say them for 4th.
All right. Let's go through this list that we put together. I asked you guys to do this during the week, and you did, so thank you. First one, most improved player to this point in the season, 3-2-1. TDK.
TDK.
That was all the same. So,
I think.
Tom's been brilliant. Yeah. We speak about him most.
He announced himself.
Yeah.
He announced himself last year and he's continued that form through this year.
Yeah. As we roll through this in the live chat, leave your names as well.
He's in round 11, 12, 13, he was the highest rated ruckman in the comp.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he had a career best game against Essendon. So yeah, no, he's been brilliant. All right. Surprise packet of the season.
Elijah.
Elijah.
Are we all the same?
Yeah.
Oh.
For these.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It has to be Elijah, does it not?
Yeah.
Jules picked it. Jules picked it early. We've seen it for what it is.
I just think he's been. There's been some other surprises, to be honest with you, like Sinks in the last 5 or 6 weeks. So he's been like really good. But I think Elijah's just been the most consistent.
You know what you're going to get from him, eh?
Yeah.
I don't know consistent. I just think because I think we didn't see much of him early. I think now he's really come into his own, but that's just on the back of games.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I actually got that wrong. I read your one. I had a different surprise packet, but I'll go after you guys. Go.
Yeah. No, but I was saying on the back of more games, he's actually been able to show more. Rather than sort of it's exciting. With Elijah.
You've got Dan's notes there, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you got mine?
Yeah.
What's yours?
Mine was actually Zach Williams was a surprise packet.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
For this last patch.
Well, I just think it's been the surprise of the season. Like, no one in their right mind pre-season would have said at any point in the year, would Zach have gone forward and kicked 10 goals in 4 games?
No.
Or 9 goals in 3, whatever the better stat is. But for me, it was Zach. Like, and it came at a time when we needed someone to step up in that role because obviously Martin was unavailable, Motlop, like we were depleted in that Fogarty, we were depleted in that small forward department, and he took it with both arms, and he's now established himself as a small forward. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like there's no way you'd have if we did a best 22 right now, you name your forward line, Zach Williams in the forward pocket.
Yeah, he has to be.
Yeah, he has to. Yeah.
So for me, that's surprise pack of the year so far. Yeah.
Cool.
Best defender.
Waiters.
You two go.
I just think was it David King or Buckley came out during this week that he's been in conversations with him being in the AA, and I think should be. So
needs to be.
Yeah, and
definitely
has to be. So I think he's been probably judged to not well over the last few years, and I think he's been hardly judged. And I just think he has to be in the AA this year.
For me, with Waiters, I feel like this year I've seen another level of hunger and desire. Did you see when we were depleted and Young was next to him and he had that little bit of fieriness about him?
Yeah.
When he made a couple errors, I like that. I like that. And I
Yeah.
think that shows another level of leadership and desire from him because we know what he can produce as a player.
Yeah, he's more assertive now.
Yeah, yeah.
He's more assertive.
Yeah,
in
he's,
terms of his
he's definitely
communication.
developing a lot in that area. I actually had Sard. I know he hasn't played a lot, but I think I've got him as our best defender this year because of the impact that he had on the group when he came back in.
Well, that goes on the
He
back
has
of-
not lost a game this year.
Mm.
Hasn't lost a game this year.
Mm.
I'll repeat. Adam Sard hasn't lost a game this year. Why
Why
not?
the fuck do you repeat it?
It's to accentuate the point.
He also missed a fair few games.
No, but hold on. He's still played 7 or 8. He hasn't lost. He hasn't
Yeah, but
lost a single
he
game.
missed the hardest run.
Not really.
I repeat, he missed the hardest run.
All right, you know what? Adam Sard for me is best defender. I'll move on.
No, he's
Nah, you know what? Fuck
do you
him.
know what?
Nah.
Do you know why he's good? Because his closing down speed is ridiculous, and the way he's probably a. I know he's a
I just
defender.
think-
I know he's a defender, and this sounds stupid, but he's more of a defensive defender now than an offensive defender.
Correct.
Yeah,
So
If that
I
makes sense.
Yeah,
I
it does.
I know it's
100%.
stupid
No,
to
no,
say.
no, no,
No,
no. But
you're
you're right
right, yeah.
because he has changed his game dramatically since he came to the club, and I think the role that he plays now is like essentially a lot of the times he's a last man for us 1-on-1 with a small forward. You know, like teams like Charlie, like Brisbane keep Charlie Cameron out, 1 out, right in the goal square, or it's a Jamie Elliott or whoever it is, right? He did it the other week against. I can't remember if it was the Gold Coast game. or the Port
Williams
game.
was that when Saab was
He
out.
was, yes,
Yeah.
he was.
You know,
But anyway, Sard has become that player on the last line of defense where there's a 1-on-1 and like a chase where you need someone to keep with their man, otherwise they're out the back. And he's been brilliant. I
And
can't remember a 1-on-1 that he's lost this year.
No.
I really can't. And I think that
Nah, do you
evolution
know
of
what it
his
is?
game,
Do you know what it is about Sard? He invites that kick.
he does. He's very smart.
He
No, he's
invites
very
that
smart.
kick.
Yeah, he's very smart. Anyway, that's best defender. Best midfielder, 3, 2, 1. Paddy
Cripps.
Cripps.
I
What's there to say?
don't know.
His performances speak for itself.
I fucking
Yeah,
love the
it's-
guy,
he's
man. Actually, I
probably-
love him so much.
Just trying to think. In terms of numbers, it's probably there or thereabouts, or even maybe even bettered his Brownlow
Brownlow.
year. So
He could be on. I think he's on track for his second.
yeah, he's probably
if
clearly
not
our
for
best mid.
Heaney.
He's
I
clearly
think
our best mid.
He's close.
No, I reckon Warner, Gordon, they'll take votes off
That's true.
Heaney.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. Cripper's been a bit quiet last few games, but I think he's well
I
and
still
truly
think
on track.
Heaney's I still think Heaney put a block of games where he was clearly their best player though.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
Especially
Yeah,
early,
yeah.
especially early.
Early.
Heaney's been very consistent. But we're not talking about him. Talk about.
I don't really
Cripps.
care about the Brownlow to be honest.
No, I don't.
I don't think
Patrick
does either.
Patrick Cripps
No.
this year is having
They want a premiership.
statistically, it's his best year ever in the comp.
Mm.
He's added his goal kicking back, which he sorely lacked last year. He didn't kick a goal for the first 10 rounds or whatever it was. I can't remember.
Yeah, something
But
like
he's
that.
added goal kicking back, which is nice. He's an absolute bull. That game against was it GWS? Was it the GWS game?
Yeah.
Where he just emerged from the pack
He just
like a fuck,
three
like
people on him.
Tarzan.
Three people on him. He was like that.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I love him. I'm so glad that we've got a guy like that. That's the captain of this football club.
He can have my kids.
Yeah, easily, easily. All right, best forward.
Charles.
Charles.
I've got Harry, but you guys go first.
I don't know. I just feel like as if he's clearly the best forward in the comp, let alone
He
our
could be the
team.
best. He's the best
Yeah.
player in the comp when he gets going.
Yeah. So
Genuinely.
I know some people have
Yes,
not mocked him, but
Cassano.
had their doubts.
He's kicked
But-
2 goals every game.
He's kicked, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
on
he's breaking,
average.
Right,
he's
yeah.
breaking records. Yeah, individually, he's breaking records.
Yeah, I think it's clearly he's the best forward in the comp.
when he's up and about. Yeah, I've got Harry because I think he's got more strings to his bow this year than Charlie, and really, he's only kicked 8 less goals.
But do you know what it is about Charlie? He will and can kick
He can
a
turn
lot
a game
more
on its head.
goals.
Yeah,
no,
of
no, no.
course.
If he leads up,
Yeah, I get it.
he'll kick a lot more goals because no one's stopping him.
He loves the body contact, hey.
Cooks me.
Yeah.
Because
Too
he actually
much, too
loses
much.
out a lot in that.
Who is this? Oh, that's your mum and dad. Don't want me to leave the guest messages up longer. No, for me, Harry. Your dad messages me every show. That's feedback for him tonight. Harry, for me, becoming more involved in the game, whether it's a second ruck or just higher up the ground, taking contested marks, whatever it is, and adding that layer of goal kicking back to his game that is consistent and reliable. For me, we spoke about earlier in this show. I think he's the most important player in our team, let alone most important forward. No, in terms of role. I think if we
Yeah.
lose Harry, our structure's fucked at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is, based on what he's doing this year. So, in terms of impact,
Actually-
I think if we lose Wiedering, we're fucked.
true.
Yeah. I think
Wiedering's the
Sorry,
most
let
important
me-
player in our
Yeah,
team.
let me,
I
no,
think so,
That's fair.
but-
Let me rephrase. I think forward of centre.
Yeah,
Harry
okay,
is our
I agree with that.
reckon-
But
I reckon
as
I
a
agree with that.
collect, Wieders is the most important. If we lose Wiedering, we're fucked.
Yeah, I agree.
Most important role player.
Fog.
Did you have Fog?
I don't
You didn't
know.
have
Oh, I
Fog?
didn't. No, I
No.
changed
No,
it.
you didn't.
Me and
You-
Jules
you-
had
Cotter.
Yeah, it's in Cotter.
Yeah,
I,
me and
I
Jules
had
had
Fog.
Fogarty,
I
yeah.
had Fog.
Yeah, I
Fogarty.
changed it.
You did.
Yeah.
Go Fogarty first.
I just think what he does forward of center. I don't think we have any other player in our team that does it. And it's not so much, particularly now, his like tackling pressure. I know his tackling was through the roof before he did get injured with the wrist, or reported and injured. But since he's been back, it's just more his tenacity and pressure around the contest and his chase and his harassing of players. That's able to turn the ball over, and then all the other players are able to go to work in terms of our turnover game. So obviously he's been a big help in that. So
agree
for
with
me, it's him.
Oh, nothing to add. Chink.
Chink, for me, that role that he's now called his own, I think has made him one of the most important role players in our side. And you can see how valuable that role there is now becoming a lot more prominent within every side. Winhager went to Neil. Chinkotter's doing that, but it's his ability to actually then go off his man, kick goals, score involvements. He's that ability to be able to not just lock down a player, but kick goals or be involved in what we want to do is massive.
Yeah.
And I think he does it to a T, and it's his passion and tenacity in the contest and with the footy.
Yeah, I think he's going to progress in that role as well.
Yeah,
He's only
for
going to
sure.
get
Yeah.
better
There's a lot more scope.
because he has an appetite.
Of course, he
lot
does.
more.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot
Yeah.
more scope. Best win
What did I have, Jules?
You had Brisbane.
you had?
I had Port.
I had GWS.
GWS you had.
I think that GWS game was at a critical time for us to keep our season on track. We were under injury siege for the first time. I think we lost like 2-3 players in the span of like a week, or 4 players in the span of a week going into that game. Pito was under pressure after the Adelaide game, whether or not he keeps his spot, whether or not he could keep up, whether that system would stack up. By half time, it looked like we were cooked. And then Cripps and Walsh turned it on, man. And that was, at the time I said, that is a game that will take us a long way to top 4. And I still stand by that. I think that's the most important win for the season. By just stretching ourselves away from GWS, that is still the gap between us and GWS is that win. Yeah, at the moment.
Brisbane. We had no right to win that game. For me, it wasn't actually the way we played. I don't think it was our best performed game, but as an actual
Game to win.
game to win, it was incredible. There as well, where we just lost obviously a prelim. For me, you know,
Kickstarted the year
you're
well.
stunned. Well, no, but
Yeah.
you're stunned.
Yeah.
You're stunned at the fact that we even won the game.
I think
facts.
I think if Brisbane won that game, they probably don't go on the run that they did.
No.
No. Yeah,
No.
probably not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good call.
For me, it was Port. And probably not so much against the team. I think Port are a good team, but I don't think they're a top 4 side, especially now. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was a 6-day break,
5.
a 5-day break.
I think we both had 5 days. Though.
Yeah, I think.
did.
Yeah,
We did, yeah.
yeah. Maybe we traveled. I'm trying to milk it. But maybe we traveled. We obviously traveled. They didn't. But I just think overall the performance was our best performance in terms of the
I think it's
most,
most complete.
most complete,
Yeah,
most complete, yeah, yeah,
complete game.
sure.
So that's my reasoning.
Moment of the year to finish.
Cripper against Port. Those 2 goals in the last quarter.
Got you
I
out of your
reckon-
seat.
Yeah.
Rocking.
Yeah.
Fucking blowing.
Yeah. Got something else after.
What'd you have?
What did I have, Jules?
You had the Freo.
You had Freo.
The Freo game.
The end
Yeah,
of the
the end
Freo
of
game.
Freo game.
Oh, the end of the with Kenny and Cotter's
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Has to be Harry against Brisbane. Kicking the winner. Sorry, you're both wrong. This is 100% the moment of the year. If it's not Harry, okay, we might still win the game. Sure. The fact that it was Harry, the fact that it was a set shot, and the fact that he kicked it with a drop punt to win us the game to start the year, yeah, Harry does not keep up the form he has if he misses that shot. I'm convinced of it. That there was, and I remember saying it when we did the review, stared the devil in the face, said, fuck you, and kicked him in the dick. Right? That was it. And then went on with it from there. For me, that is the moment of the year. Moment of the year. That's it. That's it for the mid-season review. Small preview of the Cats.
We're definitely going into OT.
No, that's why I'm saying small preview. Obviously Friday night. I don't think we need to do much of a preview, to be honest. Like
For the Geelong.
we've done a preview for Geelong. If you want to know what our preview for this Geelong game is, go listen to the last one. Yeah, we'll do that. All right. Well, if that's
here
the
we
case,
go. Cut. Now the real reason why we did the podcast. Let's cut the shit.
if that's the case, so again, this is the 4th annual Almost Blues Brothers 360-degree feedback. Now, if you're joining us again, you know what this is about. If it's the first time that you've listened or watched, we'll lay it down. 360-degree feedback. I got this idea 4 years ago. I listened to a lot of Triple M and the YouTube Rub, the Saturday Rub. Back in the day, Gary Lyon, James Brayshaw, and Danny Frawley and Damien Barrett. And they would do a 360-degree feedback session every year, about midway through the year, just to keep each other in line. And usually it's just for,
We like accountability.
It's for group dynamics.
We get better off feedback.
Well, it's usually for group dynamics that have fallen apart a little bit. And for us this year in particular, it's been a little bit, I reckon we're due for one of these, all right? So the way this works is two of us
roast.
will...
Roast.
No, it's not a roast. We're going to give very robust,
Stern.
pointed, stern feedback. You're going to look each other in the eye. This is the first time we've done this in 3 years in person, okay? Face to face. You look each other in the eye and you say it as it is. And the person that gets the feedback just has to cop it.
Take it on board.
There's no right of reply unless it's a blatant lie, okay? If it's a blatant lie, sure, call it out. You get no right of reply.
And it's got to be about the podcast.
That's wrong. It's
See,
it's
You
completely
have to
personal.
make it about the podcast.
I said last week it was personal.
That's bullshit.
The only thing is,
And you
though,
know
you,
what's
can,
fucked?
you can make it about the podcast and just like
Like deter.
You know what?
turn, come back.
You're a
on.
liar. You've already just
Are we
lied.
starting?
You've just lied.
I'm not
Anyway.
making it not. Mine's
Now
all
that's
about
it.
podcast.
They're the rules of engagement. No right of reply. You got to look each other in the eye. You got to say it as it is, and then we move on. All right. Now,
This is going to be a joke.
who wants to start?
Having me.
Oh,
We'll go 1, 2. We'll go on.
And we'll finish. Oh, yeah.
Finish
Fuck
on
it.
Joe.
Let's finish with Joe last.
to be
Jules?
fair, I think I was first last year, so that makes sense. All right, so
Okay.
Yes
we
or no?
start with George.
Jules, you ready?
Jules, all right. Just prep yourself.
Okay. You ready?
I'm not going to say I can't guarantee that there wasn't some sort of collaboration before the show.
This could be a duet.
This is a joke.
You wanna
Jules.
start?
Big setup. But that's all right.
Jules, you ready? Jules, I actually reckon you're a really, really switched on guy
Mm.
in a lot of things,
Mhm.
especially with footy. Show everyone your notepad. Show
Show it to the
everyone.
camera.
Show everyone your notepad.
Show it.
What about it?
Show it.
Show
Look
them.
through it. Show them the notes.
Jules has a notepad.
Show 'em.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
There you go.
Thank fuck you have that notepad, Jules, because if you didn't write that down, no one knows what the fuck you're on about when you speak.
Yeah.
Joe?
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah.
Cassandra,
Also, can I just say, as we're going, if you've got feedback for any of us as we're going in the live chat, feel free to jump in. Feel free to jump in because I'm sure the listeners got a lot. Yeah, that's good. Good start.
Cassano's Calcs is your best segment because you've got everything written down.
Hey, that's not even feedback just from him. Well, I'm going to get to the Instagram replies later. That was consistent from
Go.
our listeners.
That's point number one done.
Where do I even start with Jules this year? I've said it once, and I'll say it a million times. A wedding in September is one thing. A wedding in September in Spain, when we're finally a contender, is criminal. You will never live this down, I promise you. And I guarantee you, this is the year that we play Collingwood in a final in one of those first 3 weeks. And we're going to have to sit there in Madrid, the three of us, and we're going to go, oh, fuck, how good's this? Wrong. I'd fucking rather be there, Jules. That's on you. Next one.
Next. Let me get this up. Jules. Now, you're actually a really passionate person.
I like how you're starting with a positive.
It's
You've
like
done
it's
this.
a,
Yeah, that's good.
is it shit sandwich they call it?
Yeah.
Positive, negative, positive.
Yeah.
You're a really passionate person, and you are a very opinionative person. All right. And when you're passionate about an opinion, you go hell for leather. All right. When you are wrong, when you are wrong,
I'm waiting for the example.
example.
Oh, see?
I'm
Not
waiting for
even
the
a bit of
example.
it.
No,
Go.
because you're going to give the example.
Am I?
Yeah.
Am I?
Yes, you are. Remember, you said so when you have it, when there's something there, Jules,
Yeah.
you've got to turn around and
Is
go.
this-
You know what,
Is this the Jeremy Sharp argument?
Jeremy Sharp.
So, okay. Yeah, I actually had this. I had this written
Yeah,
down.
go.
So I've got argument versus debate, Jules.
Do we
okay?
want to go into right and wrong? Are you
No,
sure?
No,
but
this
this-
is no,
but
but
I was-
you're right.
No, I
You're
was
right
actually,
with some things.
I was actually right with this one, and I had the stats to back it. Right, there was an episode we spoke about Ollie Holland's the Freo game. Yeah, Jeremy Sharp. He was the highest rated player on the ground. Literally, Ollie Holland's worst rated player on the ground. We had a debate prior to those stats coming to light, where you said Ollie had a fine game. It was no problem. Literally, the lowest rated player on the ground that week. Jeremy Sharp, highest rated player. He's direct opponent on that wing. And even after that fact, what did he do? 3. Remember?
3.
Score involvements. 3.
Three.
Joe, 3. Every time I tried to speak.
Let
3.
the bloke have his argument, or let us have
Fuck.
our own opinion and go, you know what? I understand it. Whether I agree or whether I don't, fair enough, but just accept it.
You know what? Your inability to acknowledge that sometimes our opinion exists, it gets us flat. It gets us really flat.
Even this. How's this?
Really
Last one for me. Ready? How's this one for a great example, Jules? Clearance game. And do you know what my best thing about you, Jules? Over the weeks, the opinion changes, and it's great.
Hey, he's on fire.
You know what? It's not even your fault. Blame Lauren. So the opinion week to week just changes slightly based on the narrative of the game. Clearance not important, only turnover. Then bit more clearance, turnover. Then half and half. But this is my favorite one. Against Port Adelaide, well, we're doing the preview. The whole review of the previous game, clearance not important.
Yep. I remember this.
Then the
I actually remember this
preview.
specifically.
Hey, Jules, what do you think the most important part of the Port game?
Winning it at the source. Yeah, winning. We're gonna win it at the source. that is fact.
Bloke,
We've
I can
got
go
that
back to the
recorded. That's fact.
podcast.
That is fact. I've got here. I've got here. Jules, your play-by-play at the footy's got to stop. The commentary's got to stop. Corridor. Yeah.
Hit, go,
Target.
go.
Fuck, we can't be doing that, man. Yep. Very good. Jules, you're not BT, right? You're not James Brayshaw. Just shut up every now and then at the footy, please. Went to the pub last week before the game. What do we, bowl of chopped liver? Oh, fuck, you got a couple of teacher friends there, and we become fucking no one. Yeah. Oh, and that's pretty much it.
That's
mate.
it.
You got anything else?
Nah.
Would it just kill you to admit that you saw the value of Pito in that GWS game as well? You did. You can take the mic now. But did you not turn to me halfway through the third quarter and you go, Paysan, I was wrong. Pito, he's had a good game.
But podcast?
Now I retract it.
You can't. You can't.
All right, is that it?
That's it.
All right.
Well done, Jules.
Now,
Are we
we've
still
got-
your groomsmen?
yeah. Now, I've got to get to the Instagram feedback from during the week as well.
Oh, that's funny.
For Jules, before we move on to Dan, that was very good. That was very good.
Get Joe's up.
Oh shit, where's this? We're going Dan next, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go down there.
Oh no, I don't know if we can get this Instagram feedback up. Let me see if that loads. I'll come back
Stop
to
put this
Jules.
mic away.
I'll come back to Jules on the Instagram if that decides to load. All right, so we're gonna.
And to be honest, I didn't like that you brought it outside of footy with the pub thing with Jules.
Oh, yeah, all right. Cut the shit.
That'll be another feedback for Joe.
Doesn't make any sense.
Cut the shit.
Did I not speak about it pre-pub?
He's still
I
going.
gave you plenty of time.
He's still going. Yeah, I've got it. I've got the
You actually moved away from us.
I got the Instagram
We're forced
feedback.
to.
I got the Instagram. I've got the Instagram feedback for Jules. There were a couple of good ones in here. From Daniel Lotriet, he needs to stop saying obviously as a filler word. It's infuriating. I think you say obviously a lot. So just keep an eye on that. From Zach, any danger of Jules actually enjoying the footy? If he doesn't enjoy it now, he never will. That's fair enough. From another Zach, he needs to stand up to Dan more. From the taller, this is nice. And the level-headed one, who was as cool as a cucumber, you do a great job, Jules. That is fair. Oliver Lynch, who is watching tonight. Jules, your calc segment doesn't go for long enough. I enjoy learning about the stats of the game. I don't have a quantitative background. Perhaps the others talk over you and your segment gets diluted. I think that's
We
feedback
gotta
for
take
us.
that on us. Yeah.
And
We gotta take that on.
Yep.
Adrian Liuzzi, Mr. Statman. He knows his facts. Give him more segments on the show. I don't think he needs more. And from Solution, he needs to practice reading.
They didn't write that. They did. No way.
What does he say? What does he say? All right, we go to Dan.
I'll put this away.
Jules, you can kick us off.
So I'll put this away.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't speak anyway. So.
Jules' turn. What do you got?
All right. So, Faizan, introducing the master of mayo. You put a lot of mayo on things, man.
Yeah, he does.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much. You're not so happy, Dan. Like, that's legit you. You're so angry and aggressive. When you walked in today, I knew you were going to come in and complain about something.
Yeah.
There's always something.
Yeah.
Always something.
But
what?
go on. You told me
Oh,
this before the
Trust
show.
me,
so I
I
know.
stop being controlling. All right.
It's already started with me.
When's the actual last time they actually lived through a not happy Dan? Genuinely lived through it.
Yeah, we think you lie every week.
Yeah. Now,
You think
Now-
I lie?
now,
Go and ask my wife.
Mayo. Now, listen, the IKEA one. The IKEA one. How did you not know that you needed to buy separate pieces? How many times have you been to Mayo and into IKEA? Don't speak, just raise some fingers.
How many times have you been to IKEA? Right.
Yeah. So you
More than
know,
enough to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Says more about you than IKEA.
I agree, Jules.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. Now, next,
It's still going.
next thing. You're packing a bit.
What the?
Now, in terms of deterring, like you said, just take it on. You're packing a bit. You need to do something. All right, this studio, there's
There's only so much space.
you've got a little bit of space in here, but I'm just saying, Joe, and especially listeners, love it. And I know because I've spoken to some, they love it when we're in the studio. We don't want to go back online no more. So just please make sure that you do something. Now, I didn't speak to about Joe, but I speak to Joe about it, but I probably should have. Before I said it. But
Jules is just going.
you're
I haven't said anything.
you're a
yet. I haven't
PT. You're a
said anything yet.
PT. Now you're not sponsoring us anymore. You're not sponsoring, correct? Yeah, you're not sponsoring us.
He never sponsored us.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, we had it on the
Yeah, we
bottom
did,
of
yeah.
our along the banner.
No,
we did.
Yeah.
You know, so you're welcome. Now, I just don't know if a PT can look like that. You're a bit sloppy. Now, your motto is
I can't believe this got
No,
personal.
I fucking like this from Jules.
your
actually.
motto is, and I did my research
Yeah, he has.
about you, for you,
with
with
you.
you.
Yes.
But I think your slogan should be it. I don't know if I can say this. It should be okay. It should be do as I say, not as I do.
No, that's actually very good, Jules. He's nailed that tonight. You got more?
Nah, that's it.
That's really good. Hey, I'm not. I haven't. No, I
If
haven't.
if the listeners want a personal version of these two, I'm going to start my own show because I kept that podcast based
Put
and
the
I
mic
could have
down.
lost it.
Put the mic down.
I deterred.
What's my
Dan.
not happy game for today?
Dan, you're not doing that today. This is what this is about. Dan, you're a good driving range player. That's about it right now. I don't want to hear every other day on the phone. Oh, Joe, but but my iron work is better than yours. I hit irons better than you. Dan, you don't do anything better than me at golf. Nothing until you can prove it on a course. Right now at the driving range, I'll give you your credit. But if you want to be a good driving range player, be my guest. I told you that the other day, did I not? Right. Number one. Number two, your business. These fucking spreadsheets you got me doing. I don't get paid. I'm not your lucky. And he came over on a Saturday when I told him not to, right? Woke me up on a Saturday, didn't get a sleep in. So, I need all this shit done. And I say to him, it's probably going to take me a few weeks. If looks could kill, he looked at me like I'd shot his dog. He couldn't even give me a few weeks. He goes, I need it done the next 2 days. You don't. And I don't succumb to pressure and I don't succumb to threats. Number two, your hosting skills, so far off the mark, it's not funny. He tried the other week and I had to come in. I did. I'm sorry. I had to come in 30 seconds in because I'm just thinking, what the fuck? This is like, and the worst part was you actually had that written down and it still came out the way it came out. So you got a lot of work to do there. And trust me when I say I'm not the only one that gave you that feedback. Your time management, it's piss poor. Yeah. Do you agree? This one I know you're going to come in on.
Yeah, we discussed this.
Dan's, I'll be there in 10 minutes.
It's half an hour.
Is 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And we have to account for this. Yeah.
It puts us,
You just got a general sense of being absolutely fucking nowhere at the moment as well. Does he not? Like, do you, like when you speak to him sometimes during the week, yeah, do you kind of just think he's not here today? He's off somewhere else, yeah? His brain's not operating. Do you get that?
Isn't that just him at the best of times?
The worst one, yeah. But the worst part is your kid's not even here yet. And I'm scared at what you're going to be in a month's time without sleep. I know you get little sleep now, but you're going to have even less. And it scares me. I think that needs to just be brought to your attention.
It's going to impact the pod.
I'm going to flip it.
And finally, I bring beers to the studio every week.
So you should.
Jules brings donuts. You bring fucking donuts. You bring nothing. Any chance of bringing something?
To my defense, hey, Joe, I'll bring the beers. No, don't worry, man. I've got them. I've got a fridge full.
So get something else. Bring something. Bring us something. Jules brings donuts.
Twice.
Oh, it still brings donuts. That's it. That's all I've got for you. Instagram feedback.
Go. This has nothing to do with the pod.
Zach.
Yours was less, man. I only had one thing.
Yours was
Zero.
nothing to do
Zero
with the
about the
podcast.
I told you last week it was going to be personal.
zero
I
about the
told you.
podcast.
That's actually bullshit.
Zach Asuni says, Dan says bloke all the time.
Yeah, that's legit.
He's not hosting anytime soon if he keeps doing that. Team Munro, don't be such a tight ass. Buy your missus a bucket of golf balls.
She hit a bird.
Jimmy Laser, Dan, as a PT, you should be ripped and have a bit of muscle. I'm not seeing it.
Does everyone? I'm going to get my rig out to show them that I actually train very hard.
Kabaka, he needs to stand up to Joe more. That's very, I don't mind that. Matula, with positive feedback, always entertaining, cracks me up. Keep up the great work. Tom V, He wants to host, but clearly doesn't know how. Oliver Lynch, you connect with viewers just as well as Joe. All right, I'll take that as well. You host when Joe can't. Vino says the same thing. Dan ought to be the sub-host by now. Work on your patter in the twos and get your chance. Fair enough. Jacob, he always gets cut off by the other two. Let the man talk. So you get cut off by us. He gets a cut off by us.
That's leading to this.
Adrian Liuzzi, he's a legend. My dad always laughs at his jokes. His dad laughs at his jokes. And that's pretty much it. Solution says needs more airtime. I reckon you get enough. But anyway. All right.
Great. That was good. This is
Now to the main course.
Yep. I'm gonna make this as personal as I can. I'm changing this whole thing up.
Just settle a bit.
I'm changing this whole fucking thing up, and I want to go back to Jules. I want to revert to Jules again. I'm going to revert back.
No.
No, it's just jokes.
you're going to go personal with Jules? Yeah, go.
I'm
What do you got?
And I'm going to go personal with the listeners.
Go. Let's go.
Go,
Me
Jules.
start?
Yeah, you can start it
Alright,
off.
sorry.
I can finish this thing.
I don't know what, but on the pod, you become someone totally different. You're so authoritarian. It's a joke. Agree, Paysan?
1,000%.
It's disgusting. I don't know if the viewers see it, and hopefully they've given it in feedback because I couldn't see it. For whatever,
I will show you after the show.
for whatever reason, I couldn't see it. All right, sorry.
That's not my problem. You don't know how to work technology.
Why are you speaking?
Anyway.
Put your mic away.
You didn't. Anyway.
What are you speaking?
Off you go.
So, Dictator Joe. All right. I don't know if I should say this. What do you say?
I said, Joe, see you next Tuesday.
No, I won't say this because I reckon it'll be bad.
No, go on.
Nah, it's got reference there. Someone that has a mo.
It's in the chat. It's in the chat.
Is it all right? So I'm good then. All right. Maybe Hitler hasn't died after all. I'm just going to put it out there
Agree.
because you have a resemblance.
Oh, hey,
A resemblance?
Settle down.
And
Settle
the
down.
same qualities.
So the same qualities. Yep.
Settle down.
Very similar personality
Traits.
on the pod.
I'm not
on the
copping-
pod.
I'm not copying that sort of
On the
character
pod.
assassination.
All right. Now, I'm just letting you know, you host the show. Agree?
I do.
Now, whether the listeners want POV to host the show on the odd occasion, they probably do. They probably do. Now, I'm not saying he should. I'm just saying the listeners
Give
want
them what
him.
they want.
Yeah. Sometimes give them what they want. Yeah. Now, you host the show. Let us have our segments. Do not interrupt my calcs. Do not interrupt. It's called Not Happy Dan for a reason.
It's going to lead into
Not
mine, Jules.
Happy
Well done.
Joe.
Fair enough.
We live in a free country. I think.
I don't know about that anymore. But
I think. Let us be Joe. Thank you.
You done? Watch me follow on.
I
From
might add on bits.
Good.
and
Watch
pieces.
this because you'll get some ideas. How's this? Following on from Jules, I'm just going to let it rip something stupid.
Go on.
On the podcast, you're a shit person. You're arrogant. You're obnoxious. You think your shit doesn't stink. And you dictate and you try to be this overarching authority over me and Jules. I'm sick of it. And I reckon I've got 2 more episodes in me.
Do you truly believe that?
If you don't let me host, I've got 2 more episodes in me to deal with that shit. Last week, you said to me, Dan, what? And this is following on from Jules because you nailed that roasting on him, by the way. You said to me, I'm going to direct this to Dan. What's your opinion? I said 3 words. 3 words. And he cut in and said his Braveheart speech to try get some traction.
I remember that.
I sat there. I don't know
What
if you
game was
saw-
that?
The last week, Essendon. I sat there and I went like this. You didn't let me speak after it. You just kept going and then you moved on to another point.
Yeah.
Piss off.
No, fair enough. I remember that.
Piss off.
Hey, this is
I don't care. You took it personal. Watch this now. You're going to let it rip.
Abrasive.
Poor Jules. Jules has 1 segment. You host the show. You go on the Blue Abroad thing outside of this. People all know you. Less of Joe, more of me and Jules.
What do you want me to
At a
do?
bare minimum, during our segments, shut up.
It's all we're asking for.
Not happy Dan is not happy Joe. If you're not happy, go and tell Gab after the show.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. What else you
Can I keep going?
got?
Yeah. Now, this is following on from his little personal thing. Now, you cry about me being annoying. Yeah, he cries about that. Don't come to my house. Don't call me this. Don't answer your phone.
That's fair.
Don't answer your phone then.
All right.
Don't open the door.
No, I won't. I won't.
Good. Good. Be better for both.
Yeah, what? Beautiful.
Yep. And last of all, no, you know what? Not last, because I want you to go one more and find something else.
He doesn't have anything.
Don't change your mind in opinions, please.
Huh?
Yep.
Go on.
Yep.
Give an example.
So there was he'd said something, I can't remember what it was.
Oh.
Go.
Go on.
No, but you do. He has
No,
this
no, I need an
tendency-
example. No.
He
I need
has
an
this
example.
tendency.
He does.
Do you
But I got another bone to pick.
go?
He's saying I'm wrong on occasions. Joe, how many times
A
can you
lot.
be wrong?
No, a lot. I know it, but I know I'm wrong. Hold on. Hey,
I hope for your sake,
Don't touch me.
I hope,
Don't touch me today.
I hope for your sake, we beat Collingwood in round 18 or whatever it is.
whatever happens.
Because
tonight.
when you do something again, because you always do it,
Yeah.
you're going to cop it.
Yeah, but I'm happy to cop it. But I'm happy, and I say I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong.
You know what? You should just say you're wrong
You should see-
after the
You should
fact.
see the look in
Yeah,
Jules's
I've
eyes
seen it.
looking at me
You should,
right
you
now.
should
He's got
say,
blood.
you should say you're wrong straight
But
away.
I do. Hold on.
Ollie
I do.
Holland's wrong. TDK wrong.
He admitted it once. He
Once?
admitted it once.
Oh,
No.
that's too much.
But why do you have to wait 5-6 weeks? Just admit, Jules, you're right.
Hold on. Did I not say give TDK until the end of the SNR and I'll shake your hand? Did I not do that?
I'm still waiting for you to shake my hand.
Bullshit. I did it last week.
No.
I don't know. We have to go back to the episode. I can't remember. I'm
Whether I
just-
shook your hand or not, did I tell you you're right?
Yeah, it's all right.
Fucking hell. That was just blatant lie. That one. That's a lie.
Did shake my hand, but
That's a lie. That's a lie. Anything else?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep, I do.
I was just trying to.
Keep it going. No, I got
I
more.
was trying
Terry and Palmer on in 8 minutes. So we got.
Don't care. We're going to go over today. We're going over. Hey, Terry and Pom, we're going to go 30 minutes over today. Yep. Because we're not finished here. This is where we let it rip. So the listeners know, for context, Jules
No, you know
knows
what I'm
this.
spewing about Joe as well? The Collingwood game. You know why. You know why too. The one that's coming up.
Oh, it's going to get
Tickets.
us tickets. But to be fair, we don't do anything.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
but
no.
we don't do anything because that's his role.
Thank you very much.
We don't do anything.
We don't do anything because
What's
that's
not-
his role.
Yeah.
What is not my fucking role in this podcast?
So wait.
and for this group? What's
Our-
not my
our-
role?
No, it's going to lead me up
Our
to
role,
this.
our role is
To show
our,
up.
our segments and
Correct.
show up. Correct. Your role is everything else, but you want to do it, so do it.
Yep, agree. To Joe's credit, this year we haven't copped as much. Oh well, I do all the socials. Oh well, I do all this.
That's unfair. Is that not?
But wait, let me speak. We haven't copped as much, Jules.
I don't have tickets, so it's fair.
That's fucked. All right. You know what? I'm not doing tickets anymore. One of
You can't
two.
speak. It's not your
You
segment.
have to do it.
Hey.
You're at home on a laptop. You can do whatever you want.
It's true. And you
That's
don't.
why
And you
Joe-
don't work.
Sorry for.
And he doesn't work.
And you don't work.
I do work.
No,
Sorry, I fucking work.
how's this? I'm going to call it out for what it
You're
is.
gonna cost me my career.
Watch
tonight.
this.
Is what you're
If
gonna
they're
cost me
listening-
on bullshit,
If they're listening, he's doing my spreadsheets
I'm
instead.
actually not. That is a lie. Nah, I'm cutting this. This is fucking rubbish. This is rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. I'll go to listeners' feedback on Instagram. That last 5 minutes was fucking deplorable by both of you. Caleb Parsons.
Shooting facts. It's all right.
Now, you know what? You read every single one. Every single one.
He needs to appreciate
No, no,
Dan
no.
and Jules more.
Bottom to top, read like I have for both of you, read every single one.
He needs to appreciate
Bottom
Dan and
to
Jules
top.
more. Unfortunately, the other
Bottom
bloke
to
play-
top.
Huh?
Bottom to top.
I am.
Right to left, because that's the oldest to newest.
He's already pre-read this.
No. Read them all like I've read for you.
Hold on. Put this down. This is another little act by Joe because he's acting like he's been affected and the victim. It's a victim game for you, Joe. So now he needs to get the pump up and the listeners all on his side again. All right, let's go to the little Joe game.
I know
Come
I
on.
spoke
Here we go.
360, but I tell you what, the listeners and the viewers, there were a lot of lies and accusations in there that were
Wrong.
just bullshit.
Here we go.
All right.
This is the little Joe confidence segment. Like the behind the scenes. I can't wait to do a rant about this today, and we don't get a say. So, genuinely, the one I listened to for actual good analysis of the game, real good pump up. Yep, that's Joe's back to confident. Unfortunately, the other boys lack depth and clarity. Keep it up, Joe. Need to let it go. Need to let go of the reins a bit and let Dan cook. Yep. More special guest. All right. You can be boasting about bearing 90 on a par 70 course. I'm sorry, breaking 90. The show doesn't exist without you. By the way, the haircut is shit. He needs to appreciate Dan and Jules more. Less fiddling with the mic, but in all honesty, podcast is run by you.
This isn't my
Hey,
feedback.
I love how there's 6 for me and you, but there's 20 for here for Joe. Now we'll keep doing this.
Go back and look.
See comments to others, but overall you carry the show, Joe, superbly. Passion is second to zero. Second to none. Don't chew your mouth, Gab.
I do that a lot.
Joe, you run all the accounts, so we already hear your opinions 6 days a week. Hashtag let Dan host. The proudest bagger supporter ever. Love the pod, bro. Keep it up. Let Dan host an ep and just rinse him throughout it.
Yeah, could do that.
Need to give a bit more slack to the other boys to let them have their passionate monologues.
Yep, fair enough. I'll take all that from the listeners. Very good. Especially the good stuff. Anything else? Any other lies you want to throw out
They're
there
not
tonight?
lies, but okay, you can just pump up your ego. We're still doing the show.
I'll
so-
tell you what, I will show you that you could have looked at those responses through the week and you just shit with technology, and you too, you got no idea what you're doing with your phone after the show, and you'll see that I read every single one of your responses.
Is everyone seeing this characteristic that resembles a
Dictator.
That was a bit much. That was a bit
Is
much.
it not true?
All right, I would hope not. I really would. I would hope not. Anyway, that I don't know how I feel after that one. I think I'm pretty fucking flat. I'm actually really flat.
I
Yeah,
feel good.
I'm flat.
What did Lauren say? To show what Lauren said?
Lauren said she was in labour, but I think she's joking, obviously, because I would assume you'd be getting phone calls left, right.
Yeah,
and centre.
no, that's not right.
All right, we're done. We got 3 minutes. You got a not happy, Dan? I'll give it to you.
I don't have one.
How's this?
I don't have one
How's this,
tonight.
how's this for learning on the fly? Watch. I won't get involved. Watch this. Where is it?
Keep calm. Count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10.
Not happy, Dan!
You ready?
Go on, yeah, go.
This one come in just 10 minutes ago. Not happy, Dan. Now, the 360 feedback is meant to be, Jules, about the podcast and your ability on the pod, or what we do in relation to the pod.
Yeah, Jules.
The fact that you, Julian, brought up my weight, which is not a problem, I might add. Okay? I'm not overweight. I'm not in bad shape. I lift really heavy weights.
He does.
You're on the waters, which is good.
Someone wrote that in the chat. I lift really heavy weight, Joe.
Yeah, you do.
I train 3 to 4 days a week.
He's 110 kilos. But anyway.
I'm 101 kilos of muscle. And you know what? For the listeners, I'm taking my kid off.
Go on, if you're going to do it. He can't do it. You know what? He can't get it fast. He can't get it fast,
I'm
Sean.
getting it off.
Go on. Show us. Yeah. It's fucking nothing there. It's all rubbish.
You should have ended the show.
Nah, because you know what? At the end, I think Jules was actually vindicated in all of that when you couldn't get your hoodie past your
No,
gut.
because I was umming and ahhing. I go, all right, I'll take it off then. What do you want me to do?
All right.
You know what? Feel here. If that's not abs, feel.
I'm done. We'll see you next week. I've fucking had enough tonight.